Now, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Then Shaykhuna Muhammad bin Saleh Al-Uthaymeen alayhi rahmatullah continues here from those matters that necessitate prostration of forgetfulness. He says an-naqsu, and that is reduction in salah. Then he said naqsul arkan, that's the first point inshallah. He said إذا نقص المصلي ركنا من صلاته, if the person who is observing salah omits one of the pillars of salah, a pillar from the pillars of salah, فإن كان تكبيرة الإحرام, for example, if it is تكبيرة الإحرام, the opening takbir, say فلا صلاة له, such a person does not have salah. سواء تركها عمدا أم سهوا, whether he forgetfully abandons takbirat ihram or he actually purposefully abandoned it, either of the two, he does not have salah. Then Shaykh Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says here, لأن صلاته لم تنعقد, because the salah does not hold. Then he says here, said وإن كان غير تكبيرة إحرامي, but if it is different from takbirat ihram, فإن تركها متعمدا, then if he abandons the aspect of that salah purposefully, he said batalat salatuhu, the salah becomes null and void. وإن تركه سهوا فإن وصل إلى موضوعه من الركعة الثانية لغت الركعة التي تركها منها. And he says if he abandons it out of forgetfulness, then he goes to the second raka'ah. Then that means that the first raka'ah, where he abandoned that pillar of salah, becomes null and void. Then what does he do? Then he begins, that is, he makes his second raka'ah to be his first raka'ah, inshallah. Said وَقَامَتْ الَّتِي تَلِيَعَا مَقَامُهَا. So that means his second raka'ah will now stand as his first raka'ah. Said وَإِنْ لَمْ يَصِلْ إِلَى مَوْضِعِهِ من الركعة الثانية وجب عليه أن يعود إلى الركن المتروك فيأتي به وبما بعده. But if the person who is observing salah has not gone to the second rak'ah regarding what he omitted in the first rak'ah, then he still has the chance of going back to the first rak'ah which is presently on to correct it before going to the second rak'ah. But if he has gone to the second rak'ah, then it is not possible for him to make the correction other than to what? To erase that first raka'ah, inshallah. Then وفي كلتا الحالين يجب عليه أن يصبر للسهو بعد الصلاة. Then if it then happens to him in such a manner, then it has become compulsory upon him to make two prostration of forgetfulness after salutation. مثال ذلك, the example of this, said شخص نسي السجدة الثانية, someone, a person who he forgetfully omitted the second sajda من الركعة الأولى, from his first rak'ah, from his first minute of prayer. فذكر ذلك وهو جالس بين السجدتين, then he remembers that he has not made the first sajda between the two. He remembers وهو جالس بين السجدتين, he remembers while he was in the sitting posture between the two sajda, between the two prostration, the rak'at thaniya, in the second rak'ah. Said fatablu ar-rak'at al-ula wa taqumu thaniya maqamuha. Then he has no opportunity of going back to the first rak'ah. What does he do? He will now use he will use the second rak'ah to replace his first rak'ah, because he can't go back again. Now, said فيعتبرها الركعة الأولى ويكمل عليها صلاته ويسلم ثم يسجد للسهو ويسلم. Then in such a situation, he will now complete his salah from the second rak'ah, which has become his first rak'ah. Then he continues like that. Then he prays the second, the third, and the fourth. Then he makes tasbih after this. Then he makes sajda. Then he makes salutation after. What he's saying is that in such a situation, if it happens to a person that he forgetfully omitted the first he omitted a pillar of salah, for example, the second sajda, but he omitted it in the first rak'ah, but he is now in the second rak'ah. So the first rak'ah has gone because he omitted a pillar of the salah. So in such a situation, you will then make the second rak'ah to be his first rak'ah. You will not complete his salah like that. Then thereafter, وَيَكْمِلُ عَلَيْهَا صَلَاتُهُ. Then he completes وَيَكْمِلُ عَلَيْهَا صَلَاتَهُ. He completes his salah from there. وَيُسَلِّمُ. Then he makes salutation. ثُمَّ يَسْجُدُ لِلسَّهْوِ. Then he makes two prostrations of forgetfulness. Then he makes salutation again. وَمِثَالُ آخر, another example, he said, شَخْصٌ نَسِيَ السَّجْدَةَ الثَّانِيَةَ. Someone who performs salah, then he forgetfully omitted the second prostration. He omitted the second prostration. Then he then goes ahead. وَالْجُلُوسُ قَبْلَهَا مِنَ الرَّكْعَةِ الْأُولَى فَذَكَرَ. Then he was in the second sitting in the first rak'ah, which he omitted the first sajda. For example, he made this second sajda. Do you understand? Then he sat to the sitting posture. He forgot to make the second sajda, second prostration. He was about going up. Then he remembers. Said ذَلِكَ بَعْدَ أَنْ قَامَ. And he remembered before he stood up. مِنَ الرُّكُوعِ. Then he now went to the second rak'ah. ذَلِكَ بَعْدَ أَنْ قَامَ مِنَ الرُّكُوعِ فِي رَكْعَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ فَإِنَّهُ يَعُودُ وَيَجْلِسُ وَيَسْجُدُ ثُمَّ يَكْمِلُ صَلَاتَهُ وَيُسَلِّمُ ثُمَّ يَسْجُدُ لِلسَّهْوِ وَيُسَلِّمُ. Then in such a situation, he then goes ahead to perform his salah. He omitted the second sajda, then he stood up. He was in the standing posture before he went to ruku'. So what Sheikh Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is explaining here is, before he goes ahead to the second, to another rukn, another pillar of salah, and he remembers, so he will go back to the sitting posture. He will go back to make up for the prostration. He goes to make the prostration. Then he stands back again and continues his salah like that. Then after he completes his salah, then he will make taslim. Then he will make prostration of forgetfulness and then make salutation again. Now, then Babu Naqsil Wajibat, when you omit from the wajibat, from the compulsory matters. We continue from here in the second aspect, inshallah. May Allah grant us understanding. Now,